Hi everyone. Today you will be able to understand the difference between hasRole and hasRoleExactly. So you will actually understand the difference between hasRole and hasRoleExactly in the GlideUser. So in the GlideUser, you will be able to see two functions. That is actually hasRole and hasRoleExactly. So I'll just show you those functions. G_user dot. So hasRoleExactly. So there is slight difference between this hasRole and hasRoleExactly. So what exactly is the difference? So I'll be explaining the difference in detail here. Okay. So I have actually kept an alert. Inside that alert, I have actually used a function that is actually hasRole. So G_user dot hasRole. So what exactly it does is that, so it will actually check current logged in user has this particular role or not. So it will actually check G_user dot hasRole will actually check whether the current logged in user has this particular role or not. Okay. So here, right, the problem with hasRole is hasRole will actually check this role. So whether the current logged in user has this role or not. So if the current logged in user doesn't have this role, so what exactly alternatively it will check is that it will actually check for the admin role. So if this current logged in user has admin role, so here if the current logged in user doesn't have this role, alternatively it will actually check for if the current logged in user has admin role or not. So if he doesn't have this role and he has admin role, means it will obviously return true. So the point that you guys have to remember here is, if you use hasRole function, right, it will actually first check for this role. If the current logged in user has this role, it will return true. So if he doesn't have this role, alternatively, it will actually check for if the current logged in user has admin role or not. If he has admin role, it will actually return true. So if this current logged in user, the system administrator doesn't have this particular role, but this system administrator is actually the admin. So when I refresh this one, right, it will actually return true. So it is actually returning true. Even though the current logged in user doesn't have this role, he has an admin access, right? That is why it is actually returning true. So see here, it is actually returning true here. So I have actually created download clients for testing purpose. So now what exactly I will do is I will actually use another function that is actually hasRoleExactly function. So it will only check for that role. So, and let me just use that function hasRoleExactly. So it will only check for this role. So first it will actually check for this role. So if he has this role, it will return true. If he doesn't have this role, it will return false. It will not check for any other roles such as admin or non-admin, no matter. It will only check for this role. When it comes to the hasRole, right, it will check the role. If the user has that role, it will return true. If the user doesn't have that role, it will actually check for admin access. If he has admin access, it will return true. So now I am actually using another function called G_user dot hasRole exactly. So the current logged in user doesn't have this role, right? So now what exactly it should return? It should return false. So let me just refresh this one. So when I refresh this one, right? So it is actually returning false because current logged in user doesn't have this particular role. That is why it is returning false. So when you use hasRole exactly, right, it will only check for this role. When you use hasRole, right, it will check for that role. If he has that role, it will return true. If he doesn't have that role, it will actually check for the admin access. If he has admin access, it will return true. So that is the difference between hasRole and hasRole exactly, guys. Hope you are able to understand the difference clearly. So if you guys are clear, please do like our videos, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you very much, guys.